Welcome back to Daytime, everyone. With all the holiday treats and dinners and parties coming up, it's easy to gain a couple of pounds over the holidays. But here with some help to keep us trim and fit is Dr. Matta. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming.
Great to see you. Good timing. The holidays are coming.
Yes.
People will be doing a lot of eating, and I know at your weight loss clinic it must be picking up a little bit with people coming in for help.
Yes, unfortunately, around Christmas time, people on average will gain anywhere from 5 to 7 pounds.
5 to 7, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's not hard to do if you think about 500 calories here and there over a period of 4 to 6 weeks, because that's what the Christmas season is, right? It starts at the end of November and goes to the first week of January, and a little bit here, a little bit there, and it just
starts
adds
to add up.
Right. And just how big is the obesity problem with with young kids? What are you seeing? Who's coming into the office?
It is probably the #1 public health concern. It's going to probably take over smoking as the leading cause of preventable death.
Wow.
If you take into consideration just diabetes costs the Canadian economy $15 billion a year. 70% of that, $10 billion a year, can be eliminated just by diet and exercise. That's just diabetes. Add to that heart disease, cholesterol, blood pressure, arthritis, cancer. 30% of cancers are diet related, so it's a huge economic burden.
So why do you think more and more children are coming to your clinic suffering with obesity?
Well, people like to blame just the lack of exercise, that the kids aren't out playing hockey anymore and they're not doing anything but sitting on the computer. Now that is a problem because some kids will sit there for 4 hours doing the computer, but it really is food, and unfortunately parents are overeating or overfeeding their children, either for convenience. They're too busy to cook a nice home-cooked meal. They're going to McDonald's, they're doing this, they're doing that. And even with exercise, which is incredibly important, a 60-pound child is not going to burn a lot of calories running around for an hour. It's really that one bag of chips, which is 250, 300 calories, it's going to take them 2 hours to burn off. So it's really input more than output.
So cut the convenience food and the junk food.
Yes.
Especially for the little ones.
Number one.
So what do you recommend when it comes to food? Protein, carbs. There's so many things out there. What's your
diets,
what's your advice?
That's an absolutely fantastic question. And have me back for an hour discussion on this, because I spend weeks and weeks and weeks with patients explaining these things, because there's not one thing that's going to work for everybody. There's general rules of thumb, there's general patterns and certain truths to all food, but everybody's individual. So some people need a bit more of this, a little bit less of that. For the most part, I like to think that God's a lot smarter than we are. So anything man touches is for the most part evil, and most of the good foods are going to be things that are natural. So when you get into the processed food, the refined food, not only is it nutritionally deplete, it is also calorically very, very high. So when people try and say, should I do just protein, should I just do low fat, should I do this, should I do that, if you look at milk as being a perfect food, whether it's breast milk or milk from dairy, that's about 30% protein, 30% fat, and 40% carbohydrate. So some people like to use that as the reference as to how much you should have of each. I don't think anyone knows, to be perfectly honest, but we do know that not enough people are eating enough protein, and the quality and the quantity of carbohydrate for the last 20 years, because of the fat obsession, has been way too high, and that's led us to an epidemic of obesity, high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, all that stuff.
Right, and right now you're going to have a lot of people too, as we head into the new year, jumping on those bandwagons, the fad diets. Do they work?
They work for the short term. If you think about it, I love the concept of the jungles of Africa. Okay, so the body is built to survive in the jungles of Africa during periods of feast and famine. So if we feast for a short period of time, that allows us to store those calories in case we're depleted. Now, if we go on a fast crash diet, we lose 10, 20, 30 pounds very quickly. The brain does not like that. The brain still wants to have those stores for protection against starvation. So as soon as it has the opportunity, it's going to make you unenergetic, where you sit and do nothing, and it is going to make you want to eat more to restore those fat stores. So people that do these fad diets will lose 20 pounds and gain 25.
Right. So it's not for the long term.
No.
Okay,
you
great advice.
You can't fight the biology of the brain.
Good. Thanks a lot, Dr. Matta, for joining us. Great advice, as always.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we'll get some quick and easy makeup tips for the holidays. We'll be right back. Stay.